Hi Virgo, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a monthly money and career tarot reading for the month of September 2021. Thank you so much for joining me, and I do want to remind you in this moment to like this video, comment down below about your situation, how the reading resonates, or some emojis, and don't forget to subscribe to this lovely channel if you haven't done so already. And do keep in mind as we move forward, this is an intuitive read, okay? We're going to begin by pulling a couple messages from the Soul's Journey deck, and as I do the initial shuffling, keep in mind general monthly read for the sign of Virgo, my lovely calm Virgos. So take what resonates, leave it doesn't for somebody else due to it being general, and check out the other placements within your chart for more messages. And if you're here to hear about a Virgo, more than welcome to join. And I'm also accepting requests at this time for personal readings, so you just have to shoot down to the description box where you'll see the options, pricing, and my email. Just reach out via email and I'll get that started for you. I also want to remind you on another note to check out the community part of my YouTube page. You will see I post almost every day new memes, inspirational posts that I make myself. I just enjoy it, putting my art to use, artistic skills, if you will. All right. So to begin for my lovely Virgos for their money and career situation for September 2021. Alrighty, let's see here. So we have guilt and service, as well as happiness. So there's going to be a focus on your level of happiness within your career, within your finances, and whether or not you are happy with the progress you've made up until this point, or the goals you have set in place, okay? But with guilt, it says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And excuse me as I struggle to read it, but throughout the month of September, you're going to find yourself needing to let go of any guilt for doing what's right for you, okay? For stepping in the right direction, or stepping up and moving to a job that's right for you, or simply working a lot, or taking care of oneself in a way that matters most. Allowing for yourself to release that guilt or release old unhealthy habits that have prevented you or hindered you in one way, shape, or form. Prevented you from going after something that's right for you, or achieving what you need to at this time within your money and career. Service. I feel good when I can help others. And so throughout the month of September, don't be surprised if there is a true highlight on you needing to do something within your career or with your money to help other people in one way, shape, or form. Feeling as if a lot of you aren't feeling completed or fulfilled within your career work due to a lack of helping other people. Some of you do help other people, and that's great. You know, continue doing so. But it's just going to be something that pops up in your mind quite often throughout the month of September. And all the meanwhile, just asking yourself if you're truly happy with what you're working towards or with what you've achieved up until this point, right? I feel like a lot of you will also be thinking about the level of happiness that comes from the money that you make, right? The financial security or the lack of which that you have at this time, okay? So we're going to continue and pull 6 tarot cards from the Light Seers Tarot deck. Do one shuffle this way. For Virgo, money and career, September 2021, of course. Okay. Pulling the 6 cards. We have 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, as well as 8 of Pentacles. It feels like a lot of you are simply, as well as the 5 of Swords, you might find that a lot of people around you or in your work environment, maybe your boss or people you're dealing with in general, are just giving you a headache or making you just a bit stressed out. But it just feels like you're putting in the necessary work, the necessary effort, fulfilling obligations within your career or, you know, financial obligations, and it's just leaving you a bit depleted at certain parts of the month, at certain points, and just feeling like you need to rest, but not feeling you can sort of afford to take a rest or take time to oneself, go on a vacation. A lot of you thinking thoroughly about doing just that. It may not be the month for it, but it just feels like a lot of you are a bit burnt out or depleted due to all the work and the efforts you're putting forth at this time, or have been for a while, okay? The Queen of Cups to begin the 6 card spread. And so you begin the month of September feeling at ease, a bit peaceful. I mean, does feel like in August you're feeling a bit burnt out to a certain extent, but you start the month kind of putting your hands up and being like, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens, right? Certain Virgos out there are very frustrated with their work environment or struggling to find a job that's right for them or to make you feel completed in one way, shape, or form, within. And so you just kind of taking this peaceful stance on it all, view on it all, just putting your hands up and saying it is what it is. I'm not going to feel guilty for doing what's right for me either. And in that sense, kind of putting your hands up and being like, people are going to feel the way they feel about what I'm doing. So I'm going to move forward and, get the job I need to. And release any sort of pent up emotions and stress that you have within you, right? Because it's part of what's weighing you down and making you feel a bit emotional and depleted at the end of the day. And it just feels like a lot of you are moving towards a new job or the completion of certain goals within your career and finances in a very emotional manner, but you do so in a very calm way, at times wanting to kind of burst and explode due to certain emotions, but it just feels like you start the month in a very peaceful note, being like, again, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. 6 of Wands. And so you make your way to the middle of the first half of the month and a lot of attention comes towards you. Eyes feel very peeled on Virgo. And I do feel like a lot of you will be enjoying the attention. Some of you may want to just retract to your hermit mode, which is obviously you, for the most part. And it just feels as if, even if you do like the attention and the eyes on you within your work environment or due to your financial choices or the changes you're making in one way, shape, or form, it could feel like it's too much after a little bit, as you make your way through into the last part of the first half of the month. You may just want to be like, all right, this now I'm drawn to the hands in a different way, not really putting them up, but being like, that's enough, right? Going back to the Queen of Cups. But it does feel like a lot of you Virgos will be getting recognition, appreciation within your work environment, or again, for financial decisions you're making. But at times it's like people trying to notice you or pay attention to every move that you're making within your finances and your career, and it being a bit much and you being like, well, I'm gonna, decide to spend my money in the way I want to, or invest it the way I want to, or make changes within my career, or stick with the job I want to. So it just feels like a lot of opinions and judgments do surround you at this time. But then also on the other hand, you're getting a lot of positive attention as well. So it might just feel like a lot for you at that time in the month. 10 of Swords. And so you make your way to the last part of the first half of the month, and you may feel a bit lonely or a bit depleted once again. A very similar feeling coming from this card in comparison to the 9 of Wands. But you just feeling like you are accomplishing a lot, but thinking back to a lot of completion, right? Past jobs that didn't work out for you. You asking yourself if you're truly happy once again with the choices you made when it comes to your money and career, or with where you're heading. Asking yourself towards the end of the first half of the month, am I on the right track, right? And a lot of you will feel you are to a certain extent, needing to make a few adjustments. But I do feel there's a few Virgos out there that are gonna realize or remember that they're just on the wrong path, and it's time to reroute yourself towards where you're meant to be heading, okay? But don't be surprised if you go from the 6 of Wands part of the month in the middle of the first half, and then you make your way to the end of the first half of the month and you're like, well, that was a lot of attention, a lot of spotlight on me. I'm going to retract, very hermit mode vibe coming from this 10 of Swords, okay? And don't feel guilty once again for wanting to do your own thing or be within your own energy to recover or to replenish or just to sort through this or that, or figure out what's right for you, okay? The Hierophant to move on to the second half of the spread. And so you begin the second half of the month and there's a focus on your routine, right? Your routine from day to day within your work environment. For some of you entrepreneurs, how you go about getting that business off the ground or taking care of your obligations and checking things off your to-do list. Feeling as if a lot of you are easily distracted to begin the second half of the month, but it's this kind of odd balance between you feeling easily distracted and kind of out of it to a certain extent, feeling still a bit depleted, maybe a little bit more refreshed, but as well just feeling as if there's a focus on you making your way through your obligations, your daily routine, and just accomplishing what you need to, and you just kind of feeling like you have a lot going on, but just trying to feel happy all the meanwhile, right? Again, asking yourself, am I am I fulfilled with what I'm trying to accomplish at this time? Is it going to work for me in the long run? Being aligned with the Queen of Cups, it just feels like, again, this kind of putting your hands up and saying it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. Kind of view on things may not have carried through for the entire first half of the month, but it definitely comes back when you begin the second half of the month and you start to feel a little bit better because of it all, right? Realizing that you can't control everything that happens. I mean, you can to a certain extent, but to allow for this way of viewing things and approaching your career and your financial situation to take place more often will benefit you as you move forward. And just remember that it's okay to space out occasionally. It's okay to feel a bit depleted and easily distracted. Just don't forget about what you are trying to accomplish at this time when it comes to your money and career goals, okay? And then the Nine of Pentacles. And so you make your way to the middle of the second half of the month and you are reaching for your independence. You're doing what's right for you. It's a very confident part of the month. It's you being like, well, damn, I'm Virgo and I've been through a lot. I've overcome a lot of obstacles within my money and career. A lot of which people don't really fully understand or realize because I don't vocalize it. You know, I don't shout it for the world to see or hear, rather. And so it's at this point in the month where you're kind of calmly within your own energy, just being like, I'm good, I got this, you know, I can overcome whatever happens, you know, whatever obstacles pop up. But you also revisiting maybe some past goals within your money and career that you left in the past, or maybe just pushed to the side because you felt more doable. A time in the month where you're looking at all of your goals within the two categories and reassessing them while bringing old ones back potentially, or just adding new ones, and just feeling good about the potential within oneself to move forward in a successful way. But being aligned with the Six of Wands, it just feels like whether you want to do this in a sort of secretive kind of individual sort of way, it gets a level of attention. But you'll also be reflecting back to the attention you've been receiving when it comes to the two categories. Whether it was just that one part of the month in the middle of the first half, or whether it was just in general, you know, in the past months altogether, and you feeling like, okay, you know, things haven't been truly easy or perfect, but they're not really meant to, right? So you allowing yourself to move through the middle of into the last part of the month in a confident manner and just being like, whatever happens, happens, I got this. And it just feels like this is when you start to realize that you can be happy with whatever starts to transpire, whatever comes your way when it comes to your money and career, okay? And then we have the Page of Pentacles to finish up the spread. And so you make your way to wrap up the month in general, and you find yourself feeling a little bit somber. It can confuse those around you or yourself, or just one of which, but you just going from sort of independent and happy in a calm way to feeling a bit down, you know, and it's okay to kind of go from one to the other. For some of you, it might feel more reversed, where you go from this way and then you improve things. But you end the month feeling very focused on your finances, right? You start to kind of push aside the issues or the goals you have set in place when it comes to your career, but you're very focused on your money at the end of the month, feeling like, okay, I have to take a fresh perspective on this, right? Or being pushed by the universe to do so. You stressing, you overly trying to control things, the very Four of Pentacles vibe coming through, is not going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form. To allow yourself to balance things out within your mind, your soul, your heart, and just feel content with where you're heading, right? If things aren't perfect financially, then move towards a new level of comfort for yourself. Sit down and ask yourself in a productive, non-stressful way, non-overthinking way, how can I improve things? How can I move towards a better state of finances, a better, more financial comfort, if you will, stability? But being aligned with the Ten of Swords, it does feel like all the meanwhile, you're not going to even mean to, but you'll end up reflecting on past financial choices, right? And how those came to be and how those affected you up until this point. And so just allow it to be an end to the month where you learn something, you grow from it all, and it doesn't end up being a reflective part of the month that leads to a lot of overthinking and a bit of depression, okay? Just allow yourself to take on a fresh perspective and implement some self-care. Make your way into the beginning of October in a healthy way. And remember that at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you're doing what you need to move towards financial comfort and a career that you feel content and happy with. So feel good about oneself as you do all of that, okay? So we're going to finish up this reading by pulling a small Making Magic card or two for Virgo for September. Money and career. Little luxuries generates luxurious experiences and surroundings. So I do feel like this is going to be a thought that comes up, or just an overall feeling to a certain extent. You needing to treat yourself more often, even if at times things feel a bit tight, or you feel, financially, or you feel as if you are just very focused on your bills, or being responsible and mature about your finances and your career. Just treating oneself all the meanwhile along the month, throughout the month, in order to feel better about your progress and where you're heading, just to keep your chin held high as everything transpires in the way it's meant to. All right, Virgo? So I hope this reading was truly helpful. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to shoot me an email about booking a personal reading. Wish you nothing but the best. Sending love and light. Hope you have the most amazing month, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Virgo.